What is up, everybody? It's me again. It's JT Dangerously. I am back from my Week 5 NFL picks. Now, Week 4, we did a lot better. 9-6, not too bad. We bounced out of that 8-8 from Week 2 and 3. So this was a good way to get back into the winning ways. So let's try to keep the momentum going into this week. Now, the buys this week for Week 5 are the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New Orleans Saints, and the Seattle Seahawks. So fantasy orders out there, make sure if you have players on those 4 teams, make sure you have suitable replacements for them, so you don't want to go into your next matchup shorthanded, of course. But let's get right into these picks, starting with the Thursday night game in the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals heading to Santa Clara to play the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Arizona Cardinals did lose to the LA Rams, which Arizona's looking really not good. They're 1-3, which is surprising. Then you have the San Francisco 49ers, who did lose to the Dallas Cowboys, so they're both 1-3. So it's a battle of 1-3 teams in Santa Clara. It is Thursday Night Football. In this matchup, I am going to take the Arizona Cardinals win because they can't go 1-4. I mean, it'd be mind-boggling if they go 1-4. So I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals to beat the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday Night Football. Now the Sunday slate, starting with the my New England Patriots heading to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Now, it is the return of Tom Brady and Rob Ninkovich. And if you know, and of course, New England did lose to Buffalo. Buffalo fans, it's not a win. You beat a backup to a backup quarterback. I mean, come on, you guys didn't. That's not a win. You didn't beat Brady. You beat his third string backup. That's not a win. But I digress. You have New England coming off of a loss, and then you have Cleveland, who also lost to the Washington Redskins. So, but this matchup, now, if you thought the Pittsburgh game was a massacre on Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, this is going to be even worse. Because it's New England, they have all their weapons. They have Brady back. They have Rob Ninkovich on defense. They have Edelman. They have Gronkowski. They have the all-perfect package. In this matchup, I am going to take the New England Patriots. I mean, come on. It would be a shock if they lose to Cleveland. And I do want to say, Jimmy Garoppolo, fantastic job as a backup. You did fantastic. Even after the injury, even before the injury, you did fantastic. You proved yourself, and of course, Jacoby Brissett, I'll give you some credit. This may be the last time we see you in New England, but you showed up and you did the work. So just do your job. Belichick would say, do your job, and he did it. So I am taking New England Patriots to beat the Cleveland Browns. Now the next matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles heading to Ford Field to play the Detroit Lions. Now, Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a bye, which is really good for them. And then you have the Detroit Lions, who lost to Chicago, which I will take that L. That was a kind of a shock that they could have won that game, and yet Matthew Stafford blew it again. Now in this matchup, I mean, come on, the Eagles are maybe the hottest team right now. And I'm going to say right now, Eagle fans, don't think about the Super Bowl this early. You're doomed to fail if you think about it too early. Hey, take every game one step at a time. Don't say, oh, this team's going straight to the Super Bowl. I don't care, Wentz is going to get a Super Bowl. Take every game one step at a time. Rome was not built in a day. So, Eagles fans, take it like a grain of salt. Take each win as you can. Don't think, again, if you're an Eagles fan for a long time, you think this is the year maybe. But, Eagles fans, relax. It's just Week 5. It's not Super Bowl Sunday yet, so relax. In this matchup, I am going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to beat Detroit. This is kind of obvious. I am going to take the Eagles to beat Detroit. Now, the next matchup, the Tennessee Titans heading to Miami to play the Miami Dolphins. Now, with Tennessee, they did lose to Houston, of course, and Miami did lose on Sunday Night Football, so the two teams that come off a loss. Tennessee looks like the better team, like Mariota, Derrick Henry, DeMarcus Murray, Delaney Walker. They got the great defense. Then you have the Miami Dolphins, who look good, but they have problems. the offense is not there. I mean, their offense was there in the New England game, but they just fell flat on Thursday Night Football. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Miami Dolphins to beat the Tennessee Titans. Now the next matchup, the Houston Texans heading to Minnesota to play the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Houston Texans did beat Tennessee this week without J.J. Watt, so that's a pretty big win without J.J. Watt. So it's a good win. Shows they can win without him sometimes. Then you have the Minnesota Vikings, who, of course, are playing as we speak, or I would think the game is over because they beat the Giants. So Sam Bradford does it again without Adrian Peterson. They're doing it without Adrian Peterson and saying a lot. That is for sure. Now in this matchup, I am going to take the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Houston Texans because they have a lot more. And without J.J. Watt, they're going to get hammered. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Houston Texans. Now the next matchup, the New York Jets heading to Heinz Field to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the New York Jets did lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, my Seahawks did their job, did their work. And then you have the Steelers, who completely just destroyed. Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt Pittsburgh was not going to dismantle Kansas City like that? Like 45 to 40, a 40 burger on their asses. Now in this matchup, the Jets. The thing is, what kind of Jets team we're going to get? We're going to get the Fitzpatrick that was doing good, or we're going to get the Fitzpatrick that threw 6 picks against Kansas City. It's going to be either or. Then you have the Steelers. Come on. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger. Need I say more? And of course, if you have them on your fantasy team, you better keep them all season till their byes. If you have Le'Veon Bell, keep them in your lineup till the bye. If you have Antonio Brown, keep him in your lineup until the bye. If you have Ben Roethlisberger, keep him in there till the bye because they're going to be They're going to just put numbers up in this game. And I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the New York Jets in this game. Now the next matchup, the Washington Redskins heading to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. Now the Washington Redskins did beat the Cleveland Browns, which again is no surprise, Cleveland Browns. And then you had the Baltimore Ravens, who did lose to the Oakland Raiders, which I was happy to take that loss because anytime you can see the Raiders win, and I'll get to the Raiders game in a couple minutes. So, but I digress. Redskins did look good. Kirk Cousins took control. Didn't need it. There's no animosity in DC with Kirk Cousins, so that's good. And then you had the Baltimore Ravens, who did look good. They benched Justin Forsett for Terrence West, which was kind of surprising when I heard that Sunday morning, which was kind of, he's your starter, yet you're benching him, which was weird. In this matchup, I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Washington Redskins. I think Baltimore's due for a bounce-back win after losing to Oakland. So I'm taking Baltimore over Washington. Now the next matchup, the Atlanta Falcons heading to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. Now, Atlanta blew up. If you had Julio Jones, that's all you need to say. If you had Julio Jones, you had Matt Ryan. Come on. Then you have Denver, who Trevor Siemian did get hurt, so they put their number 1 draft pick, Paxton Lynch, out of I think he's from Northern Illinois, which not a bad call. He's not a bad quarterback. He's pretty good quarterback. No offense. Now with this one, we don't know if Tevin Coleman's going to play because of his disease, because the mile high altitude works against a disease he has. So they may not have Tevin Coleman for this game, but they still have Devontae Freeman, of course. Now in this matchup, I am taking the Atlanta Falcons. I think Atlanta can knock off the undefeated Broncos in this game. So I'm taking Atlanta to beat Denver. Now the next matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Jerryland to play the Dallas Cowboys. Now the Cincinnati Bengals did get a big win on Thursday Night Football against the Jets on Thursday, and the Dallas Cowboys did get a big win against the 49ers in their game on Sunday. Two teams got wins. Cincinnati looked good against the Dolphins. Again, it's the Dolphins we're talking about here, so you can say a lot of great things about them, but there's like a lot of negative parts because it is the Dolphins. Then you have the Dallas Cowboys, who beat pretty good 49ers team. I mean, Dak Prescott. And I was listening on game day morning. They were talking about will Tony Romo get his starting job back after he comes back. In my opinion, I'm going to say no. He does not deserve it. This team was working more with Dak Prescott than they ever did with Tony Romo. And anyway, he should just retire. He's a liability. He's like another big time hit away from being done. He is coming from me, and I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I like Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is your starting quarterback, and your backup is Tony Romo. If you don't like it, Dallas Cowboy fans, then what can I tell you? Dak Prescott is the better quarterback than Tony Romo, and he's at least more rounded, in my opinion. In this matchup, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, in my opinion, because I think right now it's Dallas and Philadelphia in the NFC East, because the Giants lost again. So where are the Giants going? So I'm just going to go with that. I think Dallas will win. Dallas will beat Cincinnati. Now the next matchup in the AFC West, the San Diego Chargers heading to the black hole in Oakland against the Oakland Raiders. Now the San Diego Chargers did lose to the New Orleans Saints after having a huge lead, blown again, and then you have the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders. Think about it, Raider fans. They're 3-1. First time having a winning record since the Super Bowl 2002 era with Rich Gannon and Tim Brown and all that talent around them. And this matchup, I mean, I'm sticking with Oakland, man. Oakland is my team to be reckoned with this season. I mean, AC and DC are doing work. Michael Crabtree did good for a lot of fantasy owners who have him. Latavius Murray did fantastic. Washington did good in like the backup role for Latavius Murray. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Oakland Raiders to beat the San Diego Chargers to keep the Oakland divisional championship alive. Now the next matchup, the Buffalo Bills heading to Los Angeles to play the LA Rams. Now the Buffalo Bills did beat the New England Patriots. You beat a team that had a third string. You didn't beat Tom Brady, you just beat the Patriots. No offense, Bills, but you know it's the truth. That's a big win for the Bills, but you didn't play Tom Brady. You played their backup to their backup. But I digress. Then you have the LA Rams who beat the Arizona Cardinals. And would you have told me a couple years ago that the Rams would be 3-1 after moving back to LA? They're 3-1. I think they're tied for first in the division with the Seahawks. Think about that. The LA Rams. They looked good. They looked good against them. Todd Gurley didn't do much, but it was all Case Keenum and Kenny Britt and Tavon Austin. They did all the work in that game. In that matchup, I am going to take the LA Rams because you have an East Coast team coming to the West Coast, and that usually bodes not well for the teams coming from the East Coast to the West Coast. So I am going to take the LA Rams to beat the Buffalo Bills. Now the Sunday Night Football matchup that's going against, of course, No Mercy, which again I will be having my No Mercy predictions tomorrow for sure in the afternoon. And I will be watching it with the Glorious Four, which is Jonathan Kincaid, Mitchell Seagal, and Infamous A, the Glorious Four. What can be better on a Sunday other than football and wrestling? What else can be better? With the New York Giants heading to Lambeau to play the Green Bay Packers. Now the New York Giants just lost to the Minnesota Vikings, which this is looking like it's going to be a two-man race in the East with the Cowboys and the Eagles. And then you have the Green Bay Packers who are coming right off a bye, so that gives them a lot of rest, and they're playing at home at Lambeau. So this is kind of a no-brainer, and I am going to take the Green Bay Packers to beat the New York Giants in this matchup. And now the Monday night game going against, once again, Monday Night Raw. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Carolina to play the Carolina Panthers. Now, Carolina blew it. Carolina had their chance. That was their last chance to prove to me that there was something, and they didn't. So, And of course, it's Carolina. It's Charlotte, and well, if we're talking about Charlotte, she just lost the women's title in the main event of Raw. So more L's for the city of Charlotte. Charlotte loses the women's title to Sasha Banks tonight, and the Panthers are 1-3. So double L's for that city. No offense to them. And then you have Tampa Bay, who did lose to the Denver Broncos. Of course, it's Denver. That was kind of a no-brainer. Now in this matchup, I am going to go with the upset. I think I have to go with the upset because I did say I would not pick Carolina again. So I have to go with this pick. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I'm happy. I'm taking Tampa Bay to beat Carolina, to keep the losing streak continuing in Charlotte. And those are my Week 5 predictions. Hope you enjoyed my predictions. Tell me what you think. Comment below. Who do you have winning this week? Let's have a conversation about it. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe for more of my predictions, my wrestling predictions. It's always fun to do that. It's always fun doing this, and I love doing this. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.